Welcome to Feldy. Get your butt out there and start farming.
Well, we sure will get out there and farm. Thank you, Farmer Yip. We will tab out to our machinery. We continue to have a wet day here in the map. We just hauled some kelp over to here. Oh, and actually, let me cycle through my equipment, then I'll show you what I discovered on the kelp. We go to everything else. Yeah, we can't do anything here till the rain goes away. Zoom out. I always like, oh, when we stopped the game, we caught this fella kind of in mid turn. So I'll try to get him all straightened out. We'll cancel the previous course. You know, I have something in here that's supposed to remember the previous course, but I am finding it's just as easy to use that handy little cancel tool just to get them lined up using our compass and send them off kind of like this. Oh, you know what? I should be careful. Alright, field detection is on. So we'll go, there's our combine, waiting until the rain stops. Okay, then we're back to here. Remember how in the previous episode, when I kind of went off the end, or maybe it was just a little over to this side, I filled the thing full of kelp. And it's caught me by surprise. And so what's really going on here is if we go to the map, see this trigger over here? I think Farmer Yip put it in here just for testing purposes. That had to have been what it was for. And you can see over here, yeah, it's set up on autofill. This is in the user attributes, autofill with kelp. And he must have put it here close by so he could quickly grab some, then go back over here just to test what was going on in the mod mapping, or the modding that they were doing with this kelp fertilizer converter. But we got to be careful, because if we drive off the end, we're going to run right into this trigger. So we need to make sure we kind of go to the right. But I think to try to keep from having trouble with this again, because I don't want to just cheat, we would have to move the trigger somewhere, and probably what's easiest to do is simply to take it below the level of the map. And there it is. I mean, it's below it, and if we ever go below the map surface, you know, we could find it again. It's just right there. We just took it underneath. So I think now we could drive through here and we wouldn't be picking up kelp. Actually, let me save it real quick. However, I already have a game session going, so even though I just moved it and I saved it, it still isn't going to do that for me in game. So maybe what I'll do is I am going to, let me go back to my tractor over here, make sure he's done with the field, with cultivating. Oh, he's on his last loop, so we'll let him get started. We're going to save our progress, and I'm going to be right back. Alright, we're back in game, and so we are going to cycle through our things once more, just to go get them working if need be, like our cultivator out here. You know, let me just give it a try. Will he stay straight? Ah, he will. Okay, good, he remembered his course. I've been noticing a number of times he just turns and forgets or whatever. So we'll need to come and clean this up in a little bit. Let me continue back here, go through my combine. Alright, so what we should have done is we got rid of our triggers, so we should be able to drive freely around here, whoop-de-doo, which we can. So that's actually pretty handy. And I guess what I'd like to do now, actually I guess we made it less handy on ourselves. I want to set up a course down to the kelp. You know, if we're trying to fill this up and if I ever need to go somewhere else, you know, we'd probably be dumping it somewhere right around here, kind of like it says. Yeah, we don't want to do that. So somewhere right about here is maybe where we could set up a course. And maybe some of you have more experience at this and could figure out a way to do it round trip. I mean, that'd be really awesome, but there isn't that much area to turn around down there. So I'm going to just start it, and we're just going to take off. There's the arrow heading ahead. I know they said back in this era to try to drive as straight as you could past the first two waypoints, which we just had, those little barrels that show up there. So I'm actually recording a course right at this moment. You can see that it's waypoint, it's adding those up 18, 19, 20, and so forth. I'm sticking to the road this time because someday we may want to use this, you know, when we have crops in the field. Oh, and these hedges are an abomination. We got to keep making money so we can actually get some equipment and do something about it. I am trying to stick to the road and away from these here trees and get ourselves a route down to the kelp beds. And I'll probably do this full speed. Okay, good. Those go out. We'll try to get the corner here. I was impressed the last episode when we came down here with courseplay coming from where the sheep would be, although we only did part of it. It really did a pretty decent job, even pulling a trailer to get us through our barnyard and everything. It wasn't too bad at all. So, but this now down here, I just don't know that I have enough space to completely turn around, or do I? Can I make this work? If I try to turn a tight corner here, and it's not enough to get me in the ocean. But maybe what I could do is just record a stop. I managed to have him go in a circle, so I'm going to call this course, we'll call it biofuel to, actually, no, let me call that kelp fertilizer to kelp bed. Alright, so, you know, maybe if I try that again, I can get it. See, I was so close, so close, so close. Now I have another full load, and actually let me reset it because we saved it. Let me start another one kind of just up here a little bit, and we'll set one up so that we can drive back to the kelp fertilizer maker. Is anybody watching this? I mean, how much do you use courseplay? I know I haven't used it a huge amount on this app here. I mean, it's got some very challenging terrain to try to, you know, use it on here. But fortunately, Farmer Yip has helped us by removing a lot of collisions from gates, from fences. You know, even the trees that are in here are a type of foliage, and we can drive straight through them. So it's helpful, you know, if a guy wants to use a tool like courseplay in here, but still there are so many sharp edges and corners that it's still a challenge just to set up some courses and expect it, you know, to behave the way you'd like it to. So I just haven't used it that much in here, but I think it's a great way for a person to leverage themselves and what they're able to do if you play primarily just on your own. So I maybe should do something similar here, kind of get it all turned around. I don't know if in this version if we were able to back it up using courseplay. Oh, boy, it's kind of hop, skipping, and jumping. I'll just call that good. And let's save this one. So this one is kelp bed to kelp, oops, fertilizer. Get rid of it. And back this puppy in. And drop off some more. And I believe this is our... Oh, I'm running out of fuel. Yeah, don't dare run out of fuel. I'm going to leave it up here, I think. Let me get turned around again here. I may just haul another load. It's 20,000 liters, right? And I think it's... Is it 50? We're going to have to look at our manual here real quick. And let me load the course that I want. So we're going to go down. This will be kelp. You know, I'm recognizing some... There was a map I had. These are courses for an entirely different map. H-I-J... It isn't even doing them alphabetical. Kelp, fertilizer to kelp it. That's the one I want. Go back. Drive course is already loaded. Let's first hop out of here again. I want to consult the manual. Okay, produces fertilizer. We need 1,000 of kelp and 50 of biofuel. So I just put in 5,000 of biofuel. So I should be able to, what is it at, a million? Let me do my math. 50 times 100, 1,000 times, no, 100,000. So that should be able to handle 100,000 of kelp. I've put in 60,000, I believe. Let me just verify that. We'll go into our inventory here. See what we got. Oh, this is just output. Fertilizer storage. Alright, we have 20,000. Cool. Alright, so it's giving us something. Maybe I'll just sneak down through here. It's got to be a kelp one. Not this one, that's the other. 22. Wow, that goes fast. Look at that. That is really zipping. Alright, so whatever. Let's now test our course. Drive now, of course. We'll have it stop at the end. And here it's going to do it full speed. So we'll just give it a little test here. Make sure we don't end up totally in the drink. Actually, maybe I should save it just in case that's exactly what it does, so that I have plenty of time to recover my vehicle if I need to undo this. So far, it's following the path. I'm not even sure how much kelp it can hold in here. But interestingly, okay, let's have some real fun. Let's hop out of game now while it's doing it and go here, because now what it says is in order to fulfill, oh, we can't see that. In order to fulfill mission number 3, we need 1,000 in fertilizer in storage to open the quarry crusher. Well, that's mission number 4. So we now have more than 1,000 of fertilizer in the kelp thing, so we've already blown by mission number 3. Isn't it interesting? We were able to fulfill mission number 1 relatively quickly, and mission number 2 took a long time because we needed money in order to procure equipment to get the feed stuff. And then now, once we open this up, since we already had biofuel going, and we had the equipment to go get the kelp, we already have more than 1,000 of fertilizer to open up mission number 4. Now, mission number 4, interestingly, is a lot more work to pull. You ultimately make more fertilizer. and you have other parts. There's a recipe up here for it somewhere. Here it is. You get rock, silica, and I think you take the rock to be crushed into silica or converted. You use biofuel and you use water, and you're able to turn that into fertilizer. That is quite a process, and I gotta say, as a player, I'll maybe give that a try because I'm kind of curious to see it churn out the fertilizer. But I'm wondering, is there anything better about this fertilizer than there is up in the kelp plant? I mean, up here, all we need to create fertilizer is kelp and biofuel. Down here, we need biofuel, water, silica, and rock. And oh, by the way, we need to take the rock first to have some of it converted to silica. So it's a lot more work just to end up with the end result, which is fertilizer. So I'm thinking from a farming standpoint, I mean, we have all we need down here with the kelp bed and the biofuel. And it's close by. So to me, this process seems pretty easy. Well, that's an interesting highlight. Versus doing this one here, which involves going clear over to the quarry and doing a couple processes over there, and then hauling it clear across the map, just to get it to the fertilizer plant. Still pretty cool what he had set up. It's just interesting that he chose to go that route. Hey now, look at this. Oh, I am running out of fuel, like I say. Okay, so stop. We'll stop this here. We'll reset. We'll go pick up our next kelp bed. That's up there. And, it's interesting. It swung that around. It managed to pick up some, but not all. So that is kind of curious. Anyway, but at least it didn't end up in the drink. So we'll, it's critical that when you send it off, that you hit that little note that says stop at the next trigger. Oh boy, we need fuel. It is running me out, so we're gonna need to go get at the fuel wagon with our little land rover. Yeah, this isn't even going to make it back to the plant. So, I'll tell you what, we'll just hop off of him, and we'll head to our land rover here. We need to go get some fuel. So, I don't know that we have any other use for this elsewhere, so we will drop the trailer, and we're going to just head up the hill. I'm kind of curious to see... Oh, we're going to have to get out of his way. Hold on a sec. He may make it all the way back yet. I wonder if it behaves differently once a person hops out of the vehicle and it's just courseplay. Speaking of courseplay, I should set up a courseplay on this road. But it's interesting. I mean, the fuel was going down quickly when I was kind of riding along in it. Yeah, it reached the end point. I'll be jiggered. Maybe courseplay has something built into it. I'm just going to kind of cut across here because we don't have a crop in the field. Otherwise, I would take the road. But maybe when you hop out of the vehicle, courseplay continues it even when it runs totally out of gas. But we were down to just a handful of gallons, and they were rapidly depleting because there's a script in there that as you pull heavier and heavier things, at least in terms of trailers, when you're hauling a tipper trailer, you're going to use more fuel. So that's kind of what was going on there. And we just need to go get some. And the trouble is, we are totally leveraged to the hilt. Right now, we are underwater. We are $497 underwater, and there's just no additional room to borrow. on our note. So what we really need to do is get back to harvesting if we can. And I kind of talked about returning to the clover field, and oh, what did I just do that for? I knew it was up here. Turn right in front of it, and I didn't even grab it. Like I said, I was thinking of continuing with the red clover, but now I'm kind of wondering, as soon as this rain lets up, maybe we need to continue the grain harvest so we can get some cash crop kind of in the door and start dealing with our debt. I think the next purchase I would like to make is a fertilizer spreader, and the one that can use this kelp fertilizer. I seem to think that when the fertilizer comes out of the factory thing there that's making it, that it is green. I mean, it just looks different from regular fertilizer, if you will. So I'm not even sure that we could purchase the regular fertilizer spreader that comes with the game and use it. It's possible we could, but I'm not sure it would take the output from the kelp fertilizer plant. So we're gonna just stick with the mod, that Farmer Yip provided with the map, and there's a specialty piece of equipment. I don't even know what the thing is called. It's I've never seen one in real life, but it's an interesting thing. He's got it all set up to handle the kelp fertilizer, and it's pretty cool how it works. So I think that's probably the next purchase that I'll make, and offhand I don't remember how much it was. We'll check here in just a moment as soon as I get this sauce down here to our tractor. Oh, driving through the hedge. And this is, I probably should have set up a course play just coming down here just to be efficient with my movements, but of course I didn't do that, so we'll just come down here to give our tractor a little help. It'd be really nice if, we could take the tractor. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. If we could take it over by the biofuel outlet and see if it would let us. I wonder, something is going down. I wonder if it's purchasing fuel. Let me just see if it is. Somebody's taking some money. Yeah, look at that. He's filling himself up. I wonder if that's a component of courseplay to where when it gets close to being empty, if it is near a fuel source, it will just try to autofill itself, which is pretty cool. But anyway, it's full. So we'll take that off, and let me get our little guy out of the way. And I really don't know how much fertilizer we need. Right now, how much did we have in there? 30,000? For all I know, that's a boatload of fertilizer and more than we'll need. So yeah, I'm going to have to kind of play that a little by ear. So I'm not sure how much we need. What I do know is I want to keep it open for the mission. I think all I need to have in here is just 1,000 liters. So that should be pretty easily maintained. So I'll just dump this other one in here. And there we go. Oops, I guess I fell off the trigger. Just dumping it in. We're going to pull up a course to send him back to get to the kelp. There he goes. And while he's doing that, we're going to head up the hill to our tractor over here. Once we get to it. You know, and this puppy here also needs a drink of... look at that. You see this up here? It's so sinister. It's always turning that on and off, and I never... I should go work on that script. That's what I need to do. But suffice it to say, we want that off. I mean, this is kind of why I previously took this script out, because it kept doing surprising things to me in here. Yeah, once the fuel turns red, you just wonder how quickly it's going to go all the way down. But I just had too many troubles with it, where it'd take a bite when I didn't want it to, and it wasn't predictable as to whether it was field detection was on or off. So for a while, I just got rid of it out of the map. Yeah, here's this extra little bit of the field. Hey, it says our other tractors reached the end point. That's pretty handy communication that it would tell us at. And that way we know we can go down there and check on it. It'll hold it there. And for all I know, that each time that it does an iteration of taking the trailer down there, maybe it does it a little bit differently. And maybe this time it picked up enough. Kelp that it filled the trailer kind of in making the turn. There's maybe a way we could cherry rig it, or I could redo the course so it goes a little bit further in the ocean and get it to come all the way back. That would be pretty cool too, that it just does one loop and fills the trailer, and the ad is the ad. But like I say, there's not that much space to turn around down there, so it feels a little unrealistic just to get it to go through some kind of contorted turn. Alright, so we are finished with this. Let me see here. Do I need this tractor? I probably do need it down here. So you know what? Yeah, I'll just leave it here. I'm going to have to bring the fuel to it. Alright, let's go find our other tractor and see how... Oh, nope, he didn't pick anything up. Now we'll reset. We'll go pick up kelp bed to kelp fertilizer. Is this how you guys would do it? Or am I just wasting my time? And some of you may say, well, I would just do it all myself. I wouldn't rely on a mod to do it. But anyway. Okay, we are going to end up with... Oh, I kind of cycled through there. Let me see here. Kelp converter. We have 14,000 of kelp in there. 1,450 of biofuel. Now that's chowing through it pretty quick. What do we have in inventory? We have up to 35,500 fertilizer. Okay. Yeah, I just don't know how much the fertilizer spreader used. And maybe we could go look at it here at the moment. Let me dump my map. Go over here to mods, and it looks like... Let's see if I can find it. It's always the last one. Okay. This here, 25,000, and it doesn't tell us how much it holds, but it's a very interesting spreader. What I remember before is it spreads out the side. So, oh, and here's another curious thing. Did you notice this? It just put this on here. Apparently, you know, I was under the impression that when you got into the farm shop that the game paused. Well, evidently not. It, yeah, look at that. Our camera had to catch up with it. And, all right, very good. We're slurping fuel like crazy, so that's very interesting. that it continued moving even though we were, for all intents and purposes, kind of on pause. Oops. That's missing. There we go. I'm going to send him to the kelp bed again. May as well. Why not load this up and use all of the biofuel that we have in here. So we will send him off, and I'm just going to hop out. I think I've done enough that I don't know if there's anything else I can do in this rain. I know there's maybe fields that could be planted, but I don't like planting in the rain. A lot of times in real life, they don't plant in the rain. So what I'd like to do, and maybe I'll just hit save to make sure I don't screw anything up. I mean, look at this here. We do have the ability to fast forward time. So if I go left Alt 3, yeah, 4 times time. Do it again, 16 times, 32, and 60. You know, what I hope happens is that this speeds up the... I'll go up to 300 here. And I think there's a 900. Yes! Oh, I gotta slow it down. Boom. Okay, good. I was worried for a second that it wouldn't speed up the weather. Because Oh, look at this. Stop. I forgot to press that magic button. And so what it does, and this is illustrated, at least it didn't send me over the rock. Oh, that was close. If you don't tell it to stop, it's gonna try to go find the beginning of the circuit. So that is good to know. Let's see, somewhere in here is the trigger. There we go. Alright, we're going to reset this, and I'm going to send him back up the hill. Well, I think shortly we can continue our harvest, so I will, but our alarm will end. Thank you, Eustace Farmer, for that. I think I'm going to close the episode here, and when we come back, I think we'll be able to continue harvesting on everything that we need to do. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.